state of Missouri is abuzz today, hoping that they can secure their second straight Super Bowl victory for their Kansas City Chiefs. Well, the city of Phoenix, and particularly one team, is hoping they can give the state of Missouri a second straight victory to smile about going into that, as the pride of Missouri, Katie Scott, and head coach Molly Miller will help lead your GCU Lopes into day 2 of this WAC doubleheader against the University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley. Good morning, everybody. Jim Howe welcoming you to a beautiful morning outside and a great morning inside here at GCU Arena. And I'm honored to welcome to the microphones our Lopes insider, Paul Coro, who wasn't expecting to be in town, but we will gladly take him. 77-55 was the way this WAC doubleheader started yesterday afternoon, Paul. And when you've got a team that has not played their first conference game in a month, you jump on them early, and that's exactly what the Lopes did yesterday.
Yeah, I was going to see GCU beat UTRGV one way or the other this weekend in basketball. You can count on Molly Miller's squad for that. You're right. They played possibly one of their best games of the season last year, considering the caliber of opponent they're playing and the way they controlled them from tip to finish.
And one of the things that I think the Vaqueros are still in search mode is not just the fact that it took them that long to get a conference win, but when you look at the fact that they went 3.5 minutes without even a point to start the game, they went through another 6-minute stretch without a point later in the half, and then they go without a field goal for 6 minutes in the second half. It's kind of hard to overcome that no matter who you are.
Yeah, they look more unsettled by the GCU full court pressure than just about anybody they've played this season. Of course, they've got more than 26 turnovers off of other teams. That's just become kind of a shrug moment when you see 26 turnovers, because that's their nation-leading average. But considering the other totals that were higher against non-D1 opponents at times, that was pretty suffocating yesterday. They never got accustomed to it.
4 different players for the Lopes in double figures, led by Katie Scott's 18, and the pride of Carl Junction, Missouri, had plenty of help. 13 points from the Brown sisters, Tiana and Tierra, 10 points for Lotta Pieta, but in a lot of ways, Paul, that only tells really half the story of what they did.
Yeah, Tiana Brown sets the tone defensively for the whole team, coming off the bench. You've got people like Nana Jackson that step up in key moments. TC's always smothering. LP does things at both ends of. She's the head of the offense and the head of the defense, and plays almost the whole game in doing so.
So the Lopes now try to get a little bit closer to undefeated Cal Baptist towards the top of the WAC standings, and they hope to have the second straight instance this week where they keep a WAC opponent over in conference play. They did it to Tarleton twice earlier in the week, and now they're going to try to do it to the Vaqueros of Rio Grande Valley this morning. So we hope you'll stick around as we've got all the starting lineups and all the play-by-play coming up on the other side of this break. It is Texas versus Arizona and UTRGV versus GCU right here on GCU TV.
Grand Canyon University, a Christian university, is one of the largest and fastest growing universities in the country. GCU offers 270 dynamic academic programs with modern apartment-style living, classrooms, labs, restaurants, and more. Located in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, GCU's vibrant community and expansive campus is ranked top 20 for best college campuses in America. My university integrates the free market system with a welcoming Christian worldview perspective into its academic programs and throughout campus life, so you can put your faith into action and help transform communities. GCU campus students received over $157 million in scholarships in 2020, and many students attend GCU for less than the cost of a state university. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer to see the scholarships you qualify for. Admissible high school seniors can schedule a free visit from anywhere in the country. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer.
Jim Howe, Paul Coro back here for this Sunday morning matinee here at GCU Arena, as the Lopes, who have certainly settled into a very comfortable starting 5, are expected to start the same way. And for UTRGV, they have now used 8 different starting lineups in their first 10 games, and Lane Lord's going to ratchet it up and change it up again. For more on that, let's take you down to center court and to our PA announcer, who's back in the saddle, A.C. Larkin.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the beautiful GCU Arena and today's women's basketball matchup featuring the visiting Vaqueros of University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, and your Grand Canyon University At this time, we ask that you please rise. Gentlemen, please remove your hats. As we begin this morning with a word of prayer, led today by Cole Baker, a sophomore studying in elementary education and a Havoc leader here at GCU.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this opportunity to be here today to support these athletes. Lord, I pray for your hand of protection over all of the players, the coaches, the refs, and the fans. And Lord, I pray that everything we do here today is done to glorify your name. It's in your name we pray. Amen.
And now let's meet today's starting lineups. We begin with the visiting Vaqueros. At guard, a 5'6" graduate student number 1, Amara Graham. At guard, a 5'8" sophomore number 11, Janae Williams. At center, a 6'5" junior number 14, Buju Soysal. At guard, a 5'9" junior number 23, Jordan Lewis. And at guard, a 6-foot sophomore number 33, Sarah Bershears. The Vaqueros are led by head coach Lane Lord, assisted by Kevin Hackerat, Ipek Turkimenez, Kiana Keys, and Victoria Pena. Hailing from Bakersfield, she wears the most, double one, your WEC Seals leader. Get ready for TC, Taylor Caldwell. From Oaktown, CA, a grad transfer wearing the GCU tutu. It's Nana time, Deja Jackson. A freshman, a younger sister from Spanaway, Washington, wearing the Canyon 24. Era Brown. And your WAC leading scorer, she's a freshman from Carl Junction, Missouri, Hades Scott. The assistant coach of player notes are Emily Ragsdale Buckfield, Carrila Middlebrook, and grad assistant Deja Black. The head coach of Earlobe, Molly Miller.
So the lights are back up, and GCU donning the black jerseys at home for the first time this year, even when they were the designated road team against New Mexico State a couple of weeks ago. They didn't do that. They're hoping to just keep things going because for Molly Miller, what a home record she has. If you include all of her years at Drury University, she is a whopping 98-2 as a home team. And so trying to go for 99 here, and when you've got the balance like they had a day ago, that's just, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, Paul.
Yeah, it was so good that bench player Tavia Rao got on SportsCenter last night.
Exactly.
Top 10 play with her behind-the-back pass to Tiana Brown, who had a season-high scoring yesterday, also off the bench.
Tavia Rao has kind of become that don't-forget-me type girl. She had a couple of games where she didn't play, then she comes in against New Mexico State and winds up with her career high at 17 points. And yesterday, she only played 13 minutes, but boy, was it memorable. And the opening tap here starts out a little less than memorable as the Lopes converged on it, and it winds up going off the leg of Lauda Pieta. So UTRGV will start this off with the basketball, and Amara Graham, the grad student, who is their leading scorer but also runs the point very effectively, will bring it down. She had 13 points yesterday in the loss, but they were pretty quiet points, most of them happening after the game was already decided. First three-pointer of the game's from Jordan Lewis in the corner, and it's short. And here come the Lopes the other way on their first offensive possession. Here's Nana Jackson, brings it out front on the right side. Give it to Taylor Caldwell as the Lopes move from left to right across your GCU TV screen here in half number one. Shot clock at 13. Caldwell and Pieta playing catch out front. Pieta covered by Williams, drives around her, lobs over to the side. Scott retrieves, turns around, open look, and no problem for Katie Scott, and there was only 4 on the shot clock.
Created her own shot with the pump fake out to the perimeter. Taylor Caldwell was spotted up, and the defender went running out to her and left Katie.
So the Lopes strike first blood. They never trailed yesterday, although UTRGV did catch them at one point at 8 apiece, and then the Lopes ran off the next 16 unanswered. Throw out front. Graham almost had to go by her. She saves it in the corner, and then her pass intended for Soysal through the wickets, and here come the Lopes on the steal. 2-on-2. Tiara Brown goes all the way in, draws the contact, doesn't get the shot to go, but Sarah Berkshears will commit the first foul of the morning.
Immediately letting UTRGV know that they're going to put them on their heels again. Tiara Brown in attack mode there right off the turnover and keeps the ball up high on the crossover.
There's no way that the Vaqueros can act like they are surprised by the Lopes pressure and the way that they're doing things, because they were 26 turnovers poorer by the end of yesterday. First free throw by Tiara Brown is good, and the Lopes are off and running again. Keep in mind, this has been a very even series between the two teams since the Lopes arrived in the WAC going into yesterday. They were 7-7 against the Vaqueros. 4-0, both free throws good by Brown. Here comes the trap, and Tiara Brown knocks it out of the hands of Graham and right into the GCU bench. Lane Lord all the way out at midcourt. In his third year as the Vaqueros, like Molly Miller coming up from the D2 side. As a matter of fact, they are good friends. Soysal off for Janae Williams. Williams fumbles out front, gets it back, drives around Scott, keeps coming, throws it cross court. Berkshears doesn't want the three, but Graham does. That first shot won't go. Rebound to the side, and it's corralled by the Lopes' Taylor Caldwell. Now the Lopes want to run. Lada Pieta down the left side, surveying as she crosses the time stripe. Gives it off for Caldwell. The Lopes go back into the half-court set. 2 minutes gone by. And there's the first turnover forced on the Lopes, as good hands that time by Jordan Lewis knocks it off the knee of Caldwell.
Looks like a play that the Lopes guards often make with the hand out when the ball comes through, and Lewis looked like one of their best players yesterday.
Williams being hounded by Pieta, hounded so much that she gives it right back to the Lopes as she throws it where she thought Berkshears was going to be, and Sarah moving the other way, another turnover. Pieta starts left, now swings right. She and Caldwell way out front. Williams with the defensive assignment on Caldwell. Caldwell waits for Scott to spring free. Baseline three, that one won't go. And the rebound skied for, and Graham comes out of the pack with it. But as she dribble drives, gets across the midcourt line, a reach-in foul will be called. And that'll be personal foul number 1 on the Lopes' Katie Scott. So that'll be an on-shooting foul, and Berkshears will inbound it just to the right of head coach Molly Miller for the Lopes. UTRGV in their normal home white uniforms, trimmed in black and rust orange. Here's Williams from three. That one won't go, but the rebound stolen away. And now another turnover. Lewis a little bit ahead of herself, started hippity-hopping on the baseline, and that'll be a travel.
See the nerves. They know what's coming every time they get a hold of the ball, but the Lopes want to shore up that rebounding. There was very few things they were going to talk about from yesterday, but rebounding and transition defense were a big 2 parts of that.
Caldwell hook pass inside, low block. Brown spins, but that one's partially blocked. Good defense by Berkshears. Here come the Vaqueros the other way. Down the right side is Graham. Going down in the lane is Soysal. Scott just keeping an eye on her as she gets back up. Here's Lewis, throws it in the corner. Williams steps around the defender, puts it up from 12. That's short. Long rebound comes out front. Lewis has got it. Right hands it up, won't go. Gets her own rebound, follows and scores. And almost on cue, Paul, you talked about the need for rebounding. That time the Vaqueros beat the Lopes to the punch.
Yeah, that's 3 offensive rebounds already. Not a good start for that side.
4-2. Vaqueros on the board, and once again taking over 3 minutes to finally get that donut off the scoreboard. Here's Pieta, stop at the free throw line. Throw it for Scott. Scott sees daylight. She throws it almost past Brown. Good catch by Tierra. Out for Pieta for 3.
This team's really starting to find its three-point stroke. Last 2 games shooting over 40% after struggling with that much of the season. Pieta is a big part of that.
They were 4 for 34 in the New Mexico State series, but have definitely come alive. Graham misses it, but then a late whistle. And Nana Jackson going to be whistled for the push. Second team foul of the morning on GCU. Both teams going to the bench for the first time on the morning. Jessica Martino, who got the start yesterday but was kind of overmatched, matching up against Katie Scott inside, a 5'10 junior from Manhattan in New York. She'll step in, and Tiana Brown, who had 13 points, season high, the 5'9 junior from Spanaway, Washington, is in the Lopes lineup. Both free throws converted by Graham. And Lane Lord continuing to insert players. Haley Jones joins the party, 5'10 sophomore from Wichita, Kansas. So the Lopes on the attack with a 3-point lead. Caldwell stopped the dribble. Brown has to come out to get it. That's Tierra, the freshman. And as her older sister Tiana sets a screen to spring Pieta free, she's called for the movement. That'll be an offensive foul.
Yesterday was one of the Browns' best combined days, with Tiana having a career high for steals with 5 and season high for points, and Tierra doing her usual thing.
Can't get much more even. 13 points for each one of them. Here's Graham in the corner. Thought about trying to tie. Instead throws it out front for Janae Williams. Williams waiting for his screen, set by Martino. Throws it in the corner. Lewis gets it back. Shot clock down to 7. Straight away for Williams. Covered by Scott in a switch. She'll drive on her and gets up in the air with nowhere to go. And by the time the scramble on the floor finishes, the shot clock elapses. That'll be another forced turnover by GCU.
Yeah, that's a great rotation there by Katie Scott, coming from the paint up to the perimeter and handling a guard-type player for the rest of the possession and denying her a shot.
So the Lopes have come up empty the last couple of offensive possessions. Let's see if they can change that here. Caldwell on the right side. Here's Pieta. Had an open look for a moment, but passes it up. They swing it around the horn left side for Tiana Brown. Brown stops, trying to get it to her sister, but Tierra's well covered. Shot clock at 8. Scott now at the high post. Starts to drive on Martino. Tried to scoop it for Pieta. They were too close. Graham with the steal out in front, and she'll get the easy lay-in.
Once again, the Vaqueros making a play that looks like the Lopes, anticipating the passing lane outlet and jumping on it for the play Molly Miller always calls a pick 6 here on Super Bowl Sunday.
That's right. Kennedy Shorts up off the bench. She'll check in for the Lopes next time it's dead, as Miller seeing a little bit of stagnation offensively. Here's Caldwell, dribble drive, and the arm bar from Janae Williams will stop play and give RGV their second team foul of the morning. So Shorts will check in, but first we will step away. Timeout on the floor, 4:31 left to go first quarter, and it's tight so far. GCU 7, UTRGV 6. Keep it here for more coverage of Lopes women's basketball right here on GCU TV.
How does a chicken sandwich become a Whataburger spicy chicken sandwich? Is it by slathering it in a fiery sauce or adding some crazy hot toppings? Nah. If the chicken in a chicken sandwich wants to be spicy, it has to come from the inside. By marinating it in spices, frying it up, then cooling it off with fresh veggies, all on a new brioche bun. Good thing flavor can come from within. Good thing there's the new limited time spicy chicken sandwich at Whataburger.
I would say to anybody considering maybe skipping graduation to spend a long time thinking about participating. I think it's a great opportunity to really take advantage of a moment that you only get once in your life. It's an opportunity to really experience something that highlights all the hard work that you've put in.
Not very many people get to experience that in their life. It's such an honor and a privilege to be able to do that, and I think the memories that come out of that are just incredible.
Herff Jones, by your side.
5.5 minutes gone by. Lopes in a tight one on top 7-6, and it's time for our 3 keys to the game, brought to you by Sanderson Ford. The best play on a new Ford is at Sanderson Ford. The first one, a question of balance. You can't do it much better than the Lopes did in that 77-55 victory a day ago. 4 different players in double figures, and everybody really contributed some way that got in the ball game. They can only hope to keep that going today. Turn them over, they're done. Yes, the Lopes are averaging 26 turnovers forced per game, but yesterday they did a much better job than they'd had the previous 3 games of turning those points into, or turning those turnovers into points. They had 27 points off those 26 miscues. And then finally finding the broom. This has been a very even series over the years, and the Lopes are looking for their first sweep in the series since 2018. They have the ball on a 1-point lead after the timeout. Lauda Pieta out for Taylor Caldwell. Neither one of them has gotten a break yet. Make that Tiana Brown. Tiana Brown, or make that Caldwell, excuse me. She'll drive inside, keeps on coming. Scoop shot looked good, but with 1 on the shot clock, it falls off the side. And UTRGV with the ball and a chance to take their first lead of the weekend. And that may not happen. Lewis able to save it long enough for Tiffany to McGarity to save it and then throw it off of Kennedy Shorts, so the Vaqueros will keep the basketball.
Here's where that initial pressure sets up a good half-court defensive possession for the Lopes. UTRGV inbounding with 20, and will have to get into its offense later than it wants to.
Haley Jones inbound, almost stolen away, but Martino comes down with it and then is held. That foul will be on Caldwell. That is team foul number 3, and if there were a blemish or 2 on the Lopes docket yesterday, it was that they were getting in fouls and sending UTRGV to the line late in that first half. That was really kind of keeping them afloat.
It's about the point in the game yesterday where things got away from UTRGV. It was an 8-8 game, and Lopes went on a 16-0 run that carried into the second quarter.
And third-year head coach Lane Lord won't like that. They could not get it in, so the Lopes again force another turnover. And it's a 1-point game. The Lopes have gone nearly 3 minutes without a point, but still have the lead. Caldwell waits for a short screen, give it back to Kennedy on the pick and roll, but it's knocked out of her hands in the paint. Another steal. Vaqueros have it. Martino playing keep away from Caldwell. And now the Vaqueros will again come down with a chance to take the lead. Haley Jones off for Amara Graham. You know Lane Lord wants to get Graham more involved in the offense. She only had 5 points and 1 field goal in the first half yesterday. Spin move by McGarity. Did she travel? Everybody wearing purple and black thought so, but no deal. 5 on the shot clock. Martino drives, crashes into the defender. Shot doesn't go, but a blocking foul. Shorts on the floor will be the guilty party, and I think they were ruling she was too deep underneath the basket.
That could be the only thing it was, because she was enough time in the lane to count off a 3-second defensive call if there was such a thing.
So with 3:15 left, the Lopes are over the team foul limit. And Martino, the southpaw, to the line for the first time this morning and on the weekend. First free throw is good. Only the second tie we've had in this 2-game matchup. And the Vaqueros now with their first lead since they got off the plane.
Looks like Tiara took a little hop out of the circle at the very end there for that to be a good call. A little bit better than the one that they reversed yesterday when she was clearly standing outside the circle.
Katie Scott back in. Tiara Brown will get a breather. So the Lopes with the lineup of Kennedy Shorts, Taylor Caldwell, Katie Scott, Tiana Brown, and Nana Jackson. Tiana Brown with the ball, scoops it for Scott. Open look, straight away for 3, won't go. Shorts, though, with the nice back tap. Caldwell retrieves. Out to Scott, and then as Scott with a little head fake did more than just move the head, called for the travel as she started to make her move. So the Lopes uncharacteristically out of sync. Full court pressure defense. They get it into Janae Williams. And Tiana Brown with the defensive assignment on her. And that was great news for the Lopes yesterday. Brown really making a dent in that first half. Williams pass, low block. There's Soysal. She'll catch it, she'll shoot it, she'll score. And UTRGV quietly with an 8-0 run.
Looks like they're a little bit more comfortable with the pressure. You saw her spin away from the reach to steal and hit the person under the basket and before the Lopes could come down.
Jackson trying for the tie, no, but Tiana Brown had it and then lost it underneath. Vaqueros again force another turnover. Williams driving on shorts, keeps on coming, puts it up and in. Williams first scoring, and the Vaqueros with new life have turned a 5-point deficit into a 5-point lead. Caldwell dribbling through half the county, and the last person she faces holds her. That's Sarah Bershears, who just picked up her second personal foul. Molly Miller will get Lauda Pieta back in, as well as Tierra Brown, and Amara Graham's time on the pine was brief. She will check in for Bershears with those two personal fouls. Martino also back in as Lane Lord trying to counter some of the substitutions that his opposite number, Molly Miller, making for the Lopes.
Now the Vaqueros seem to be playing downhill, and part of that is the Lopes have made 5 turnovers themselves.
Caldwell outside the right arc, driving the baseline. They leave her alone, puts up the reverse layup and won't go. Tough break. Vaqueros all had 3 under the basket saying, you got her right. Didn't happen, but Caldwell couldn't convert. Graham shooting over Scott, got it for 3.
Now the confidence is sky high. She was 4 for 11 yesterday, but she's got it going already today.
13-0 run. The Lopes have gone 4.5 minutes without a point, and suddenly it's an 8-point Vaqueros lead at 15-7, and high fives all around on the visitors' bench. So Molly Miller finally having to try and stop the bleeding with the timeout with 1:47 left, and we will keep it here. Gives us a chance to remind you that you can get the best gear to show off your Lope pride. You can go to lopeshops.gcu.edu to find everything GCU, from the newest apparel to the coolest accessories. You can use promo code GCUTV20 to get 20% off for being a GCU TV viewer. Log on and get your gear today.
That last play was a little bit of that transition defense that we talked about yesterday. In transition, Pietro was taking a different player. Katie Scott went out on Graham, not really the ideal matchup for her, so she has to lay off and give her the 3.
So let's see what they drew up. Tierra Brown gets underneath, and second straight wide open layup for the Lopes, not converted. 90 seconds left to go first quarter, and the Vaqueros don't want this to end. Graham brings it out front. 13 unanswered points from the visitors. Martino turns around, faces the hoop. Drives on Scott, gets the first step, puts it up with the left hand, gets it to go. Jessica Martino, and it's 17-7. The Lopes are trying to figure out what's going on.
Exact opposite of what happened in the middle of the first quarter yesterday when the Lopes poured it on.
Haley Jones called for the bump out front, but RTV still had a foul to give. So 22 on the shot clock and 1:07 left to go in the first quarter as Pieta will inbound it to the left of the UTRGV bench. Throws it low block. There's Scott. She will muscle it up and muscle it in, and finally that lid's off the basket after over 5 minutes.
Best way to break a cold streak like that is get around the rim and put Katie Scott in a mismatch.
17-9, Lopes suddenly with some work to do. Martino wants to go one-on-one again. This time goes to the right side, and same result as she's able to get it off the glass and in. So the Vaqueros suddenly brimming with confidence for the first time since they arrived in Arizona, and they have a 10-point lead to show for it. Tiana Brown, crossover dribble, goes up for the shot. It's knocked away. She goes down. No harm, no foul. Vaqueros come the other way. Graham scissors through the defense, puts it up and in, and suddenly the transition is all one way and not to the Lopes' liking.
She just split that transition defense too. The Lopes were back, but she just carved them right up down the middle.
So it's 21-9. The shot clock is off, and the Lopes going for the final shot, but it's intercepted. Not a good pass from Pieta. Jones on the break. The desperation shot put up, not good by McGarity, but the foul is called on Lada Pieta. And Clark Stevens took an extra long look at Lada Pieta as if LP had said something to him. But with 3.3 seconds left, free throw time coming for the Vaqueros.
Very much doubt a first quarter has ended this season with the Lopes making more turnovers than their opponents. They're feeding their transition defense problems by making 6 of them and getting UTRGV out on fast breaks and putting the Lopes on their heels.
And doing a lot of things that we have not seen them do since the New Mexico State series a couple of weeks ago. First free throw by McGarity, not good. RGV, who scored only 55 points in 40 minutes a day ago, almost halfway to that here in the first 10 minutes. Next free throw by McGarity is good. 13-point lead. Quick inbound to Pieta. Pieta looking at the clock, throws it from midcourt and got it for 3!
Trying to get on SportsCenter again, Lopes?
I was just thinking that, Paul. Another SportsCenter highlight in the making. Well, that gets the Lopes with a little momentum going into the second quarter. But looking at the end of it, at the scoreboard at the end of one, they need a lot more. End of one quarter here at GCU Arena in the second half of the Western Athletic Conference doubleheader. Here's your score. The UTRGV Vaqueros 22 and your GCU Lopes 12. Back with more on GCU TV.
Once you've been to hell and back, there's not much left to fear. When the boogeyman goes to sleep at night, he checks under his bed for me. Have you ever wondered who Waldo's hiding from? Me. Not even the Cougars of LA are enough to scare me. But if I get into an accident, I'm calling the boss, Sweet James. If you've been hurt, don't back down. Call Sweet James.
From reimagining the way you work to reassessing what you need, you've changed the way you do business. And now, so have we. With no annual contracts and flexible internet and voice solutions, you'll have what you need to get back to business. Rethink, reconnect, reimagine. Switch to Cox Business today.
With Lopes insider Paul Coro, Jim Howe back here, ready for quarter number 2. And the Lopes had a 7-2 lead and saw it turn into, eventually, a 13-point deficit. They trail by 10 at the moment. And Paul, I'm sure it had to be awfully difficult for UTRGV head coach Lane Lord to tell his people just stay the course, stay the course, stay the course after getting dominated yesterday. But stay the course right now is working.
It looks like he's ratcheted up their tempo a little bit too to have them be the aggressors in this game. They're the ones who've been driving the lane. They're the ones who've been pushing in transition. But the Lopes get a little recovery at the end there with Pieta. She played that perfectly with 3 seconds to not shoot too early and get herself to half court. Like you said when we were in the timeout, it looked good from the time she let go.
Now Pieta trying to build off it, but her shot at short range doesn't go, but she fights, gets the rebound. Caldwell back to Pieta. Can she do it again? Yes, for 3!
Well, there's that improved 3-point shooting. She did it last game with 2, and she got 2 the hard way this time. 1 from half court, and that's her 3rd overall with 2 on the arc.
Yeah, she's 3 for 4 from the field, and all 3 of them coming from long range. Now going for the steal, but the pass is on the money, but Martino misses the layup. Saved underneath by Lewis. Can she follow? That one won't go, and Shorts will one-hand the rebound. So the Lopes suddenly switching the momentum by dodging bullets. Open look. Caldwell. Can she join the party? No. 3-pointer won't go, and Brown has the rebound tapped out of her hand. Now Brown smothering Martino as she tries to get it out of backcourt. Gives it off for Janae Williams. So the Lopes have come back with 2 big threes to get this deficit down to single digits. There's a steal out front. Tiara Brown anticipating well, goes behind the back and then can't finish as she dribbles it off her knee.
That was going to be another highlight reel. Great steal, gets into the open court. Looks like she doesn't have much going on a 1-on-2 and loses them both going around the back, but then loses the ball.
Well, Lane Lord seeing a momentum shift, trying to switch the chess pieces around. Gets Tiffany McGarity back in and quickly gets Buju Soysal, the 6'5" starting center from Istanbul, Turkey, back into the lineup, and for the moment, Kennedy Shorts is going to be the one matching up against her. Full court pressure, going for the steal was Brown, came up just a little late. Williams drives in, low block for Soysal, moves around Shorts, little left-handed hook is good. Not much Shorts could do when you got a 6'5" that's in that deep.
Yeah, it's usually how people feel trying to guard Katie Scott in the post.
So here's Caldwell with the Lopes trailing by 9. UTRGV is led by as many as 13. The Lopes led by 5 early on. Seems like a long time ago. Pieta comes around a short screen, no look pass in the corner. Caldwell all by her lonesome, in and out and stays out. Brown fights for the rebound, beautiful interior pass. Kennedy Short scores.
Yeah, so many people would try to just go back up with that after an offensive rebound, but a great pass to recognize Kennedy, who had an even better shot inside.
Caldwell and Shorts came very close to getting the steal off of Tiffany McGarity twice, but instead McGarity recovers and the foul will be called on the Lopes. Carla Balaguer will make her first appearance into the Lopes lineup. The native of Barcelona, the 6'2" junior center. Graham quickly up, nobody puts a body on her, and they make her pay as Graham now in double figures with 11.
She just caught everybody off guard, and the Lopes do too.
What a pass, inside Caldwell to the cutting Tiana Brown, easy lay-in for Tiana. So the two teams trade short porch moves, and the lead is still 7 for UTRGV. In the corner, Lewis for 3 off the mark. Lewis, though, knew where it was going and fights everybody for the offensive rebound. Now she drives in, puts it up high off the glass, holds on the front of the iron, drops off. Soysal gets it, follows and scores, and it'll count. She'll head to the line for an N1.
Her size is hurting the Lopes right now inside. She had the post play, she had the offensive rebound, kept it up high for the N1.
So Balaguer, the guilty party. Soysal had that ball slapped in her hands as she threw it up falling backwards, but it still went in. Trying to make it a double-digit lead again for the visitors, and does. So Soysal getting the start tonight after coming off the bench yesterday, and she has responded well with 7 points. Back to a 10-point Vaqueros edge. Caldwell in for Balaguer, backs in on Soysal, and then has it stripped from behind by Haley Jones. Starts the break on the other end. McGarity fighting through 2 different Lopes, can't get the shot to go, but she's knocked down hard, and the foul will be called on Tiara Brown.
Once again, turnover leading into RGV transition. You can see with the message that's been pounded home in this short turnaround for the Vaqueros. They are ready to attack.
Katie Scott in, Carla Balaguer out. And the Lopes realizing that they are still doing a lot of things right, especially on the defensive side. They've just had a couple of breakdowns when that transition has not worked. And the Vaqueros surprisingly getting the transition to work to their benefit on their end. First free throw by McGarity, not good.
The Lopes have even dodged some bullets in transition. You mentioned the one earlier where they had 2 shots. If it wasn't for Nana Jackson hustling down there on a layup miss, that would have been another one.
Both free throws missed. Quickly down the left side, Tiana Brown. Out for Pieta. Comes around a short screen, and then she's hacked as McGarity puts her hands behind her back, but everybody in the building saw that reach-in foul.
She's putting her hands behind her back while Pieta's putting her hand up to her mouth, feeling like she might have got a bloody lip or something out of that one.
Yeah, she's trying to make sure all 32 teeth are there. Non-shooting foul. So Pieta will get it on the inbound. With a lineup of Short, Scott, Pieta, Tiana Brown, and Taylor Caldwell. Scott at the elbow, gives it out front for Brown. Shot clock down to 9. Here's Pieta, looks in for Scott. Can't find her, give it to Caldwell. 4, now 3. Muscles up a desperation shot, doesn't go, and the ball doesn't draw iron, and by the time Shorts is able to go down to the floor to get it, another turnover on the shot clock violation. Lopes seem to be waiting around for other people to move around to get things going offensively. Pass almost thrown away. Graham gets it back, give it to McGarity. And that will be a turnover in the backcourt as McGarity taking too many steps.
Still not catching up to the Lopes, which is just an odd situation on the turnovers. Lopes used to getting those extra possessions that can turn games, and right now that's why the Vaqueros have a 10-point lead, because they've had those extra possessions with 9 GCU turnovers.
In fact, the Vaqueros had 22 less shot attempts yesterday. They have 2 more than the Lopes at the moment. Pieta with the leap and leaner in the lane, rolls around and off. Scott with good position, follows no. Shorts has got it. She'll put up the hook shot and finally gets it to go. Kennedy Shorts.
Beautiful technique there for Shorts, and she steals the inbound.
Inbound steal by Shorts out to Pieta. Extra possession as the Lopes try to get within 2 possessions. Scott one-handing the ball out front, waiting for everybody to get set as the Lopes spread the floor, and then Martino, way too aggressive out front, called for the bump.
You see the extra aggression on defense from UTRGV, though. It's resulting in some fouls here, but for the most part, every time they go by a Lope, they're taking a swipe at a ball on the help defender.
You got to assume it's kind of the same directive from Lane Lord that it normally is from Molly Miller. Yes, we'll take a foul as long as it's not a silly one. Scott, straight away for 3.
That's part of what the Lopes have done to try to get some better three-point shooting. They're setting Katie Scott up on some set plays, and Lord's lining up his team for not being out there.
Lane Lord right in the face of Jessica Martino, who has struggled mightily in the 2 games when she's had to defend the Lopes leading scorer, Katie Scott. And suddenly that 13-point edge in the latter stages of the first quarter is down to just a 5-point Vaqueros lead at 29-24. And many times, Paul, it hasn't necessarily been pretty. And as you mentioned, they've dodged a lot of bullets, but the Lopes have to feel fortunate that they're within 2 possessions.
Absolutely. For how things went there for a while with the 15 unanswered points to be in this game right away, and it's their improved three-point shooting. 3rd straight game that the Lopes have shot it well after it being a struggle for much of the season. Molly Miller's felt confident about this team's ability to shoot, and part of it is getting Scott more shots. She came into the game shooting 50% from three-point range on the season. If she had enough to qualify nationally, she would be in the top 10 with that sort of clip. And right there, the reason Lane Lord's so upset is her defender, Martino, is dropping down into the lane. It makes it really easy for Tiana Brown to set a screen for her to get that shot loose. She loves that straightaway 3.
Well, and Jessica Martino seems to kind of be in no man's land. Do you go out front and possibly leave Kennedy Shorts underneath, or do you try and defend the paint? And when she does not go outside, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of shifting going on in that Vaqueros defense.
GCU getting its 3-point percentage for the day up to 4 for 9.
And Pieta being 3 for 3 in that exchange. So Lauda with that half-court shot at the end of the first quarter, kind of getting that proverbial lid off the basket. And the Lopes have been the benefactors as a result of it.
She's not one to usually carry the Lopes scoring. She carries the offense by setting the table and playmaking, but she had to get the Lopes through that stretch where it was pretty lean offensively. She had 9 of their first 15 points.
So with 5:52 to go, Vaqueros again will get ready to battle the Lopes full court pressure defense. And their lead is down to 5. Shorts will pressure Brashears, who looks and waits. Graham trying to spring free, but Pieta's right there, gets it to Williams. Now Williams trapped in the corner, has to do nothing more than just throw it off the leg of Tiana Brown just to give her some room.
These timeouts and dead balls work against teams sometimes. You've allowed GCU to set up their full court press, and you've shown that you've struggled with it for a day and a half.
Here's Williams as the Lopes kind of back off of that backcourt D. Williams with Pieta right in her face, drives in, kick it in the corner, open look, Graham too hard. Rebound, two-handed by the Lopes Taylor Caldwell. Now the Lopes try to get within 1 possession. Caldwell weaving her way down the left side. Hook pass for Shorts. Shorts drive in. Soisal's there. Back to Caldwell for 3. That one's short. Looked good, but just a little bit too short. And the rebound belongs to Graham. Graham will streak down the middle and now back it away as the Lopes get set defensively. Nearing the midpoint of this second quarter, it's been a good one so far for the Lopes as they try to chip their way back in. Graham out front, Caldwell staying with her, throws in the corner, open look. Haley Jones though with an air ball from 3, and Soisal trying to use all of her 6'5" frame, but didn't have the defensive position, is called for the loose ball foul.
It's been a dead man's corner over there for UTRGV. They've had about 5 open looks from that corner, but that possession, Graham just doing a lot of dribbling. She had Soysal on the post against Shorts and didn't even go after it.
Scott driving on Soysal, backs away, puts it up from 15. That one won't go, but the Vaqueros not on the same page rebounding-wise, and that will be dribbled off the knee of Haley Jones. Lopes will get it back. So suddenly that turnover differential starting to shorten a bit. Lopes still have 9 miscues, which has got to be a head scratcher for Molly Miller, but they've now forced 8. So Lopes with it in the front court. Scott with her back to the basket, hands off for Caldwell. She'll shoot it with a hand in her face, but the 15-footer's off the mark. Rebound down to Jordan Lewis. Lewis wants to run, but the Lopes chasing her. Now back away from her as she stops the dribble. Bershears comes to get it. Drive on Tiana Brown. Puts it up and in, and Brown couldn't do much more defensively. Had a hand in her face.
Well, you're right. I was surprised at how well she challenged that shot. Amazed that it still went in with how Tiana got up there on her.
Back to the lead of a touchdown for the Vaqueros. Here's Scott again driving on Soysal. Scissors through the defenders and gets it to go with Soysal on her back.
Yeah, I think Katie Scott likes that matchup. She can put it on the ground with her and get to the rim.
Breaking the press, here's Soysal in the front court, but she doesn't want to have anything to do with it out near the three-point line. Gets it to Williams, and Soysal will sneak inside. Williams trying to work one-on-one, now double team. Kick for Graham. She's going to fire a long three, but that's off the mark. Rebound, though, Lewis, and then when Lewis put it on the floor, it's off the foot of Scott. Goes right to Tiana Brown with Williams to beat. She'll scoop it up, she'll scoop it in.
Wow, what a great way to protect your body. Turning the back and flipping it in from the left side.
Pieta going for the steal, came up empty, but then Tiara Brown comes from behind and finishes it off. What a play by Tiana, and the Lopes now with a chance to possibly tie with a 3.
Coming off a 5-steal game, coming up with back-to-backs again.
Pieta off for Tiana Brown. Brown covered by Jordan Lewis, scoops it for Scott, went right past her, scramble for it, Graham gets it, and she'll have an uncontested lay-in as both centers at midcourt on the floor.
Breaks a long scoring drought for the Vaqueros there.
So 33-28 as the Vaqueros able to use the transition to their advantage on the Lopes' 10th turnover. Here's Caldwell, dribble drive, keeps coming, and on the pass off, holding foul called. That'll be on the UTRGV point guard, Janae Williams, and that is team foul number 4 for the Vaqueros with 2:47 left. So another non-shooting foul as Scott gets a breather. Kennedy Shorts back in along with Nana Jackson, and Tavia Rowell making her first appearance in the lineup. What highlight reel play will she have for us today? The 5'10" sophomore from Langley, British Columbia. Pieta throws it out front for Jackson. Jackson had a long rest on that Lopes bench. Let's see how much energy she can interject. Pieta, before she gets the shot, the whistle stops play. And that foul called on Eva Belosevic, who just checked into the lineup, and that will put the Lopes in the bonus. And these are the first free throws that the Lopes have shot since early in the first quarter. Pieta, the southpaw, puts in the first. Lopes, for the moment, 3 for 3. And make it 4 for 4, and it's back to a 3-point Lopes deficit. Lane Lord will get Belosevic out of there after about 14 seconds of play, and Jessica Martino back in. So Lord obviously saw a matchup he didn't like. Here's Williams, dribbling through traffic, finally crosses the time stripe. Tiana Brown with a defensive assignment on her. Williams off for Martino, faces the hoop, trying to work on Rowell. Drives, gets the first step, puts it up, puts it in, and that's been Martino's bread and butter here in this first half.
Especially down the left side. She likes that one.
Now Pieta and Jackson not on the same page. Nana saw it and saves it from going out of bounds. Jackson stop, out front Pieta. Pieta looking low for Shorts, gets it to her. Throws it quickly back out for Jackson, and as Jackson got set, the little hippity hop sends it the other way on the turnover.
The ball motion was great. Pump fake got Kennedy Shorts open in the post. She did the quick touch pass out back to the perimeter to shift UTRG's defense. Just a little too anxious with the first step.
Lopes only shooting 41% from the field, and that may be one of the reasons why Molly Miller will have Ven Levatas get the warm-ups off for the first time on the afternoon. 5'11" junior from Vanta, Finland, as Raul will check out.
Tough to inbound over Kennedy Short. She swatted that down like the Kembe Mutombo at the rim.
6'1" is what she's listed, but she's about 7'3" with those long arms, and she shows just why. She slapped it into that Vaqueros bench. 2 minutes left to go, and the Vaqueros have had the lead for most of the last 16 minutes of play. Graham yo-yoing the ball out front. That's been a great matchup on the weekend. Graham will put it high off the glass, not close. Pieta with good defense, Shorts with the rebound. Lopes trying to get within one possession again as Tiana Brown crosses the time stripe. Pieta working on Janae Williams. Comes around a screen, throws it low block. Shorts on the pick and roll, but too strong on the layup. Vaqueros come the other way. Graham now backs it away as Shorts now scrambling with the trapping defense. Graham stops the dribble. Gives it off for Williams. Williams waiting for Martino to get inside. Starts to work on Pieta. Drive, stop, can't get any room. Out to Graham, 7 on the shot clock. She'll back away from Short, shoot it over her, but the three-pointer's short. Rebound, Lewis. Lewis moves inside, off the glass. That one won't go. Scramble for the basketball. Jackson on the floor, and that's out of bounds. Possession going to the Lopes, and they're actually going to call a loose ball foul on Martino, and that will send both teams the long trip down to the Lopes free throw line with 1:01.
They got to find a way to keep Lewis off the boards. Yesterday she hurt him a couple times with the three in some unexpected ways off the bench, but at 5'9", she's been the best rebounder on the court today with 7.
Vaqueros out-rebounding the Lopes 19-14, and 8 of those have been on the offensive end. You know that's going to be locker room material in about 61 seconds for Molly Miller.
And it was pregame material. You know, these were the two main topics that they talked about, transition defense and rebounding, and they definitely have not shored up either one of them.
So Nana Jackson trying to get into the scoring column for the first time on the morning, and the first free throw does it. Miller has used 10 players, and 6 of them have scored. The only starter that has not gotten in the scoring column yet is Taylor Caldwell. Next free throw in and out and stays out. So still a 2-possession game as we're under a minute. Vaqueros just trying to stem the tide and keep these turnovers flowing on both ends. Williams driving on Shorts. Stop at the elbow, throws it out for Martino. Shot clock at 12. Tried to scissor through the defense. Shorts won't have any of it, and Martino goes down to the floor and is tied up. Possession arrow favors UTRGV.
Credit to Caldwell there. We see Martino want to go left time and time again. She didn't let her and fed her right into the double team that time.
No reset on the shot clock, so they have 9 seconds to get it up. Throws it out for Graham. Graham back to Williams. Williams drive around Shorts. Looked like she double dribbled, no call, and is able to get away with it and puts up the right-handed shot.
That was criminal.
6-point game. And so now the Lopes could go for the final shot of the half if they want to. There's a half-second's difference between the shot clock and the game clock. And Caldwell's going to play keep away from Graham for the moment. Shot clock at 12, dribbles around her, puts it up with the right hand and gets it, and Caldwell in the scoring column.
She needed to see one go down.
Here's Graham with 4 seconds. Now 3, throws it for Lewis. Lewis weaved through the defense, puts it up and get it. Jordan Lewis has been a force in this first half in a lot of different ways, and that's one of the reasons why the Vaqueros have a 4-point lead as they head into the halftime locker room, a stark contrast from the 18-point deficit they had at this point yesterday afternoon. Well, we hope you'll stick around for our halftime show, which follows in just a moment. We have reached the break here at GCU Arena in the second half of the WAC doubleheader, and here is your halftime score. The Vaqueros of the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley 39, and the Lopes of Grand Canyon University 33. Stick around for more action on GCU TV.
When the going got tough, many people bunkered down. Dealerships turn to mundane sales online with impersonal deliveries. Not Sanderson Ford. We chose to work even harder and provide more personalized service and value in our showroom. Or you can shop from home, buy from home, and we'll deliver. We've been delivering vehicles to our customers for over 65 years. Call Luis Gonzalez.
Hey, David.
I'm just pulling in with your new truck.
Wow, I'm blown away. Thanks for the personalized service.
When I think back on graduation day, it's such a special moment, walking across the stage, hearing your name called. I think I would really regret not walking. I think being able to finish out a long college experience with an awesome moment like graduation is really special.
If I hadn't decided to walk that day, I think I'd regret not having that sense of closure and accomplishment for that huge chapter in my life.
My name's Noah and I graduated in 2015.
My name is Lauren and I graduated in 2016.
Herff Jones, by your side.
We made USAA Insurance for members like Kate, a former Army medic made of the flexibility to handle whatever Monday has in store and tackle 4 things at once. So when her car got hit, she didn't worry. She simply filed a claim on her USAA app and said,
"I've got this."
USAA Insurance is made the way Kate needs it. Easy. She can even pick her payment plan, so it's easy on her budget and her life. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
It's time to get away. It's time to escape. It's a new day to play. Your retreat awaits at Talking Stick Resort. Indulge your appetite for excitement with our thrilling table games, our electrifying slots, our outstanding restaurants, and our exceptional accommodations. It's all waiting for you. It's a new day to play at Talking Stick Resort. Play in style.
Jim Howe, Paul Coral back here at GCU Arena in this Sunday morning matinee. Glad you're with us in the prep for the big game later on this afternoon. And so far, the Lopes kind of getting caught sleepwalking a bit as the Lopes came out just like they did to start off the first game yesterday with a 7-2 run to start the game, and then suddenly watch the Vaqueros explode for a big run, and the Vaqueros have led ever since. They've led by as many as 13, and it's a 6-point game here at halftime at 39-33. Well, Katie Scott has been the focus not just locally and regionally, but nationally. She's the first person in WAC history to win the WAC Women's Basketball Player of the Week 3 straight times. And just a couple of days ago, she was the main featured guest on The Lope Show with our host, Caleb Dwart. Let's take a look.
We're talking to a freshman phenom and talking hoops. Did it go? Play the graphic. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the GCU Lope Show. I am your host, Caleb Dwart, and I am joined by GCU women's basketball freshman phenom. You got that right, Katie Scott. Katie, introduce yourself for our lovely audience.
Yeah, I'm just a girl from a really small town in Missouri. I promise you've never heard of it, but I ended up here in Grand Canyon University, and I'm so happy to be here, and I just love being part of the women's basketball team.
Oh, we love hearing that. So that small town in Missouri, we actually get a lot of students from the South, it seems like. But you just mentioned it. You randomly came here at Grand Canyon University. It's your freshman year, and you are there's so many amazing things to talk about, but I really want to talk about your experience. Can you give us a nutshell of your freshman year of how that has been for you?
In a word, I'd just say it's unconventional, just because from classes to basketball to your social life, nothing's the way that it would normally be. And granted, I don't have something to compare it to, so this is my idea of the college experience. But I've heard enough from my roommates to know that this isn't what you normally go through in a freshman year. Having in-person classes, getting to know people is part of what makes college so fun. So it's hard to feel that I'm not missing out, but we're being accommodated for so well by the basketball team and by the university in general that I can't help but be so grateful.
What is about GCU made it be like, you know what, this was a hard decision, but I have nothing but positivity now?
My biggest fear when coming here was that I would lose that small town feel. But since coming here, it's almost felt like my old school, just in the way that I walk down Lopes Way and I just know people.
Yes.
It's so
Isn't
crazy.
That you can't even go 10 feet without saying hi to somebody.
In a school with thousands and thousands of people, it really does feel like a small town, and it feels, I have that same support that I always had in high school. And honestly, I can't imagine anywhere else that has that same environment. So I'm just really happy that I found it here.
What does it feel like for you to know that this whole program from the top down is supporting you and the whole team?
I had always heard that Grand Canyon was a basketball school, and once I got here, I figured out very quickly that it is, just because we're made a priority, and it's not just the men's basketball team, it's the women's too. I feel so supported by President Mueller and everyone who works underneath him. And I feel like Coach Miller has really done her part in making sure that we're highlighted to the best of her ability. And I think that we've seen our program grow because of that, and we've had more support because we have so many people on our side.
You know, one thing that I love about our athletes here is that they just are regular students too. I mean, whether it be the 7-foot giant Ashbourne Midgard or Alessandra Lever from the men's team or Katie Scott from the women's team, we see them on campus, and they're just regular students too that love Grand Canyon University. If you were to look at the camera and just talk to a student that was wondering if this is a place they can find home, and it seems for you, a small town girl from Missouri, has been able to find home at the heart of Phoenix, Grand Canyon University, why can somebody find their home here?
I think that Grand Canyon University has a spot for everyone. That's just what I found. No matter who you are, what your interests are, there's a niche for you. And finding that has been so easy because we have the best staff, the best environment, the best students. I just have so many people who have pointed me in the right direction, and I know that everyone else can find that too.
All right, we're going to wrap up with a few quick-hitting questions here to show that Katie loves things at GCU, just like everybody else here at GCU. All right, we're going to hit you with some quick-hitted questions here. Favorite place to eat on campus?
Ooh, Arena Cafe.
Oh my
gosh. So good.
It's the hidden gem.
It is.
What do you get?
I like their, I think it's a chicken BLT, something like that. Ooh. It's a chicken sandwich. It's very good.
Okay, I recommend the chicken tenders. They're incredible.
Oh,
Hidden gem.
I've heard. I love chicken tenders.
2 arena sauces, Dr. Pepper. That's what I do. That's my diet. All right, favorite GCBC drink?
I have 2. I like the blended cocoa mocha, and I like a raspberry lemonade.
Oh,
just depends on my
strawberry
mood.
lemonade.
Strawberry lemonade? That's a good one.
And finally, we got to bring academics into this. Favorite study place?
My favorite study place?
Outside of the practice facility.
I spend way too much time doing homework in the practice facility. But I would say my favorite study place is probably just outside Lopes Way on some of those benches.
Oh, yeah.
I have some people watching that can distract me when I need it, but it's also a cool environment to do homework in. It is fun.
And before I let you go, I got to ask, how is the team doing? How do you feel about the team's success and just overall the team as a whole?
I've been so impressed with our team and the development that we've made since this summer, and I know that we have unlimited potential, and I think that we're truly starting to show that, but I want people to know that we're nowhere near that potential, but we will reach it.
And I love that. And you guys have broken the team record so many times already. We're so excited for you, for Coach Miller, for the whole team. Katie, you're an incredible person and an incredible player.
Thank you.
So God bless you and the team, and we'll see you guys next week. Can we get a little Lopes up?
Lopes up.
See you guys.
Joel Embiid is unhappy.
Like, really unhappy.
Because the internet keeps using not-so-amazing GIFs to react to his amazing highlights. Mountain Dew presents the Joel Embiid Deserves Better Reactions GIF Collection.
Now I'm so happy.
I'm personal injury attorney James Bergener. Accidents can happen. If something happens to you or your family, call me. My firm and I will take you by the hand and guide you through everything. You see, personal injuries are just that. They're personal. You're not a number. You're more than just a name. This is your life. At my firm, each case is professionally and personally tailored to you. So if you've been injured, I've got your back. Call me now for a free consultation.
At Tire Pros, we know your time is valuable.
And spending time with family and friends is what really matters.
Our customers are the core of our business.
That's why we make buying tires and auto service hassle-free.
Our certified technicians will keep your car running smoothly.
So you can spend your time the way that you want.
Find a convenient location near you at TirePros of Arizona.com.
Hassle-free guaranteed.
When the going got tough, many people bunkered down. Dealerships turn to mundane sales online with impersonal deliveries. Not Sanderson Ford. We chose to work even harder and provide more personalized service and value in our showroom. Or you can shop from home, buy from home, and we'll deliver. We've been delivering vehicles to our customers for over 65 years. Call Luis Gonzalez.
Hey, David.
I'm just pulling in with your new truck.
Wow, I'm blown away. Thanks for the personalized service.
When life seems uncertain, there's one credit union that provides both dollars and cents. Copper State Credit Union. With solutions that focus on our members, you can take advantage of competitive rates, free cashback checking, and local attentive service. Uplifting our community is a standard we live by. That's why thousands of your Arizona neighbors rely on us. Strengthening Arizona families through financial empowerment. That's Copper State Credit Union.
Halftime locker room chat for UTRGV was apparently short for Lane Lord. That's what happens when you turn an 18-point halftime deficit a day ago into a 6-point lead today at 39-33, and that gives us the cue to take a look at our halftime stats brought to you by Copper State Credit Union. And the first one that really kind of jumped out at me, Paul, was the fact that UTRGV has led most of the way, yet they're only 1 of 9 from three-point range. They haven't needed them.
Yeah, and they feel like they've had good looks too. They're probably kicking themselves because we've seen them set up that left corner 3, 4, or 5 times and miss, and that lead could be really big if they had some hot shooting.
But you really got to look at the rebounds. The 20 rebounds by the Vaqueros out-rebounding the Lopes, and a lot of those coming on the offensive end.
Yeah, 8 of them, and that's a big area of concern coming off of yesterday's game. I wouldn't say a big area, but everything went so well for the Lopes yesterday. They were looking for things that they could talk about, and rebounding, transition, defense were a big 2 of them.
Now, the last thing I'm sure that was a big surprise to Molly Miller was the fact that they have 11 turnovers, and they've got more turnovers committed than they do their opposition. That's something Molly Miller almost never sees, but if I'm going to try and look into a crystal ball, the last time they had 11 turnovers at halftime, that was when they turned it around in the second half against New Mexico State.
Yeah, I think that's an area they've already started to clean up in game. We saw improvement from first quarter to the second quarter, but it's really what undid them during that 15-0 run that UTRGV had to open up the game, because during that time, the Lopes had 4 turnovers during that stretch and also missed about 3 layups in that stretch. So they really were their own worst enemy during that time.
Yep, so now they just got to kind of fix the leaks and be able to try and shore what they normally do up, because for one thing, those extra offensive rebounds have the Vaqueros putting up more shot attempts here at halftime than the Lopes, 31-29. That's also another, that never happens instance.
That's what the Lopes want to have, more possessions in a whole game, but also counting on that discrepancy being exaggerated the more possessions are in a game. And that hasn't happened. But I imagine we're going to see a different Lopes team the second half with the adjustments. But UTRGV has a different confidence right now, and Graham is night and day from yesterday. She's been able to get the UTRGV playing downhill and been much more efficient.
All right, so we are talking about the past and the present. What do you say we also talk about the future? Let's take a look at the upcoming schedule, brought to you by Commonwealth Insurance, the way insurance should be. And that upcoming schedule is immediate, because as soon as we bring the lights down here at GCU Arena, then we're going to move it outside to GCU Stadium. And Chris Sissel's team, which took it on the chin 4-1 in their season opener Thursday night, will try and get back in the win column against NAU. That's a 2 o'clock start. You can catch that right here on GCU TV. And then Monday and Tuesday, we're back inside and right back here for women's volleyball as they get going. Fresh off that impressive sweep of Tarleton a couple of weeks ago, they're back on track, taking on another WAC opponent, Trailblazers of Dixie State, another newcomer to the Western Athletic Conference. So that's coming up, and the second half also on the way. We've got it for you on the other side of this break right here on GCU TV.
Grand Canyon University, a Christian university, is one of the largest and fastest growing universities in the country. GCU offers 270 dynamic academic programs with modern apartment-style living, classrooms, labs, restaurants, and more. Located in beautiful Phoenix, Arizona, GCU's vibrant community and expansive campus is ranked top 20 for best college campuses in America. My university integrates the free market system with a welcoming Christian worldview perspective into its academic programs and throughout campus life, so you can put your faith into action and help transform communities. GCU campus students received over $157 million in scholarships in 2020, and many students attend GCU for less than the cost of a state university. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer to see the scholarships you qualify for. Admissible high school seniors can schedule a free visit from anywhere in the country. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Visit gcu.edu/myoffer.
Third quarter is upon us. Jim Howell along with Lopes insider Paul Coro. UTRGV is led by as many as 13. The lead is 6 at the moment, and that's because of Amara Graham, who really gave him the spark plug. She's got 13 points, which was as much as she had all of yesterday. And Jessica Martino also with a spark off the bench. Not getting the start today, but comes off the bench to score 8 points. Meanwhile, for the Lopes, it's Lada Pieta's outside shooting that was really the spark plug there. She's the only one in double figures with 11 points, 3 for 3 from three-point range, and Katie Scott with 9. But I think they'd like to get Katie Scott more involved in the flow.
Lane Lord calling over the officials to start the second half with a discrepancy maybe at the scorers table, but part of the emphasis on improving rebound from the first half to the second half has to do with keeping the Vaqueros off the offensive glass, and when we say that, we're just really talking about Lewis. She's been amazing with 6 offensive rebounds.
So the Lopes will start it off with the basketball to begin this third quarter, and Caldwell stops the dribble with the back to the basket. Back to Scott, now back to Caldwell. Same 5 on the floor for Molly Miller that started the game. Nana Jackson, Katie Scott, Lada Pieta, Taylor Caldwell, and Tierra Brown. Now the pass goes past Jackson. Jackson dives on the floor, saves it, gets it for Tierra Brown, sees the clock, puts it up, almost gets it to go, gets her own rebound, follows and scores. And those are the kind of hustle plays underneath that the Lopes were seeing the Vaqueros do. And on cue, Tierra Brown with the inbound steal, and then gets fouled on the pass off. What a way for the freshman to start off the first 37 seconds.
Yeah, what a tone setter for the whole second half to be winning all the 50-50 balls, getting all the hustle, and turning them over right away.
So Caldwell will inbound it underneath, and the referees conferring. They might be trying to see whether or not there was enough change of possession before that, but apparently not. And now Clark Stevens, the lead official, is going to go over to the scorer's table to confer, and that gives Molly Miller a chance to move the chess pieces around.
Sarah Brown went back on that like a safety. She backtracked and grabbed it with one hand.
Inbound to her, fumbles, gets it back, then throws it on the backdoor cut for Jackson. What a play.
Are you kidding me, Tierra Brown? She's making 3 big-time plays in the first 45 seconds.
A rebound, a steal, an assist, and a shot, and now a foul. I'm not sure if they called that on Brown or Katie Scott. It is on Tierra Brown.
I mean, everything's Tierra Brown. Right
yeah, right now she is about 3 different people on the floor. So it's a non-shooting foul, but the Vaqueros now trying to recover, and we've only played 55 seconds in this third quarter. With the ball, Sarah Bershears driving on Caldwell, throws it in the corner. There's Lewis for 3, but it's too hard. And one-handing the rebound is Katie Scott. What a play.
Again, Vaqueros finding that open 3 if they want it. They just can't knock them down. 1 for 10.
So here's Pieta with a chance to tie. Drives around the defense, kick for Caldwell. Over to Jackson in the corner for 3! And just like that, a 7-0 run in the span of all of 84 seconds. And the Lopes have the lead back. Timeout, Vaqueros.
How discouraging is that? A whole half of good work by UTRGV just wiped out in 1:24.
And 1:24 is probably appropriate because the last 2 digits on that really exemplify who has been the spark for the Lopes here in the third. Wow, Tierra Brown making a presence all over the place, and you can just tell with this team, we've seen it all year long in the first 15 games. You get one person to really start making a difference, and the four others on the floor really respond for Molly Miller.
Yeah, let's give credit to LP on that last one. She created the whole thing. Scott had the high screen, and when LP drives on that curl, you see 5 vaqueros sucking down, and she just kicks out the pass to Caldwell. Caldwell almost was a little bit crowded over there with in the corner, but still had enough room to make the kick pass to the corner.
Yeah, you normally see that kind of spacing and you say, oh, wait a minute, that's a breakdown. We've got to change that. But Caldwell was there, found Jackson, and both of them were alone to be able to shoot.
Still too much for one person to guard, even if they're standing 4 feet apart. One lope apart, right, as the signs on campus say?
Yeah, that was not social distancing, and it still worked. So the Vaqueros come out with Sarah Bershears, Jordan Lewis, Janae Williams, Amara Graham, and Jessica Martino, who did not get the start in this third quarter, but replacing Eva Milosevic because Soysal didn't get the start either. And the Lopes are not going to cover the inbounds pass as Kennedy Shorts near the midcourt line, just kind of playing center field. And Lane Lord's already looking at Sarah Bershears and giving the don't do it sign. They're apparently had a set play, and I think he's trying to get him out of it.
Seen him do that twice this game out of timeouts. It's like Molly Miller's in his head. They do know each other.
They do know each other. Molly Miller considers him a friend. Here is Bershears on the drive. Caldwell stays with her. Wild shot. Caldwell made her change it. Scott out on Jackson. Cherry picking for the score.
Patrick Mahomes with the outlet. Katie Scott, the Missouri native.
The pride of Carroll Junction put that on the screws, and Jackson had an easy lane. 3-point Lopes lead. Here's Bershears trying to change that, and does with the three-pointer in the corner.
Well, she's been quiet for a game and a half, and she's been one of their top scorers in limited action this season.
That stops a 9-0 run by the Lopes. Here's Pieta in the corner for Scott. Start to drive on Martino. Draw the defense. Kick for Jackson. Same spot. Same result for 3. Nana Jackson with 10 points here in the first 2.5 minutes.
Katie Scott taking over point guard duties right now.
And now Williams dueling with Caldwell near the midcourt line, and Taylor will be called for her second personal foul.
Katie Scott found Nana in 2 different ways. One was the breakaway downfield, the other was the corner 3, but Lopes once again getting a host of people involved in this game.
And right now the Vaqueros are shell-shocked. Martino with the drive, and the Lopes were ready for it. Jackson with a hard charge, but instead it's going to be a blocking foul, and they're not going to call Jackson. They're going to say that Scott pushed from the side. Well, Jackson's back up. She didn't seem any worse for wear. Jessica Martino had to have all 4 of her teammates come over and take a look at her. And now Martino still trying to shake it off as she gets ready to go back to the free throw line for the first time since the first quarter.
Nadeja Jackson takes some shots. She is willing to give up her body to draw charges all season. It's kind of the senior leadership she provides. She's doing things that don't show up in the box score for the team.
Well, and even when she gets called for a blocking foul, as she could have probably been called for in that sense, even though the foul was on Scott, as both free throws missed, she does seem to know exact placement on where to set up for that charge inside. Caldwell gets it low block for Short, starts right, spins left, hook shot won't go, but the rebound to the side, guess who? Kennedy Shorts has got it back, and the Lopes winning all the hustle awards in the first 3 minutes here.
I think Shorts retreated and came back and still got it.
Jackson draw the defense. Caldwell to Pieta in the corner. 3-pointers off the mark, but the rebound comes out front, and Tiana Brown's got it. 3 on the shot clock. In for Shorts to beat the clock, and it rims around and won't go. Tough break for the Long Beach native.
Good awareness, shot clock awareness to put that shot up.
She had her back to the basket the whole time. Here's Bershears trying for another tie, but the 3-pointer's short, and the box out. Shorts gets tied up from behind. Shorts and Martino. Possession arrow will keep it on this side of the floor for UTRGV. Buju Soysal and Haley Jones making their initial appearances here in the second half. Soysal getting the start today, had 7 points in the middle for Lane Lord, and she'll get the inbound pass out front. 3.5 minutes gone by in this third quarter and a total turnaround. And there's another throwaway. Graham threw it. Soysal wasn't expecting it. Jackson to Pieta on the break, misses the lay-in. There's Shorts, back to Jackson. Jackson drive inside, forces up the shot, won't go. All kinds of contact. Take your pick on who gets the foul call. I think that'll be on Bershears. And that's her third.
The Lopes' energy's way up, though. You can see all the people down court. The pressure Pierre put up top forces the bad pass, and when they're in transition, it's not 2-on-1. It's the trailers coming too, like Kennedy Shorts, to keep the play alive.
And Kennedy Shorts wasn't anywhere near the vicinity of the rim when Laura Pieta missed that lay-in, but she was the one who got to that ball first. As Jackson back to the line, and Nana has completely exploded. She had one free throw converted. That's it in the first half. Since then, it's been all Nana as she misses the second free throw, but she's got 11 points here in the second half, and Shorts with the steal, comes down, scoops, no. Pieta's got it on the follow, out for Tiana Brown. Now for Nana, can she continue it? Fires a three, but it's short. And this time the defensive rebound belongs to the Vaqueros' Sarah Bershears. Williams was looking in for Soysal, who's being covered in a switch by Jackson. Out for Graham. Graham now she'll lob in for Soysal, and the 6'5" center gets it. All kinds of convergence by the Lopes, and the foul will be on Caldwell. That was about all TC could do.
That's a tough guard even for the double team, even when Tiana Brown comes. It's both of them against a 6'4" post player who can keep the ball up high out of their reach.
And she knew, that being Buju Soysal, not to bring that down and risk the quick hands of the Lopes slapping it out of her possession. First free throw's good. While the Vaqueros have not been able to find the range from three-point land, they've been getting the job done from the free throw line. Next free throw, that's good. So it's back to a 2-point edge as Bershears will check out. Tiffany McGarity back into the Vaqueros lineup. And high fives for TC. She heads to the Lopes bench with 3 personal fouls, replaced in the lineup by Katie Scott. So Pieta with the ball way out front. Low block Scott. One turn and one shot. Katie Scott in double figures with 11.
Immediately upon entering the game, gets that post position and gives it right back to Soysal for doing it on the post the other way.
And it looked like the play was happening in slow motion and the Vaqueros couldn't do anything about it. Jones from the corner, too hard. Rebound Pieta. Lopes want to run. Outlet for Jackson, on the break for Brown. She'll score. Tiana with her third field goal, and Lane Lord is out near midcourt and has seen more than enough. Timeout Vaqueros. 5:15 left to go, third quarter, and the Lopes are rolling. It's GCU 50, UTRGV 44, right here on GCU TV.
It's time to get away. It's time to escape. It's a new day to play. Your retreat awaits at Talking Stick Resort. Indulge your appetite for excitement with our thrilling table games, our electrifying slots, our outstanding restaurants, and our exceptional accommodations. It's all waiting for you. It's a new day to play at Talking Stick Resort. Play in style.
When the going got tough, many people bunkered down. Dealerships turned to mundane sales online with impersonal deliveries. Not Sanderson Ford. We chose to work even harder and provide more personalized service and value in our showroom. Or you can shop from home, buy from home, and we'll deliver. We've been delivering vehicles to our customers for over 65 years. Call Luis Gonzalez.
Hey, David.
I'm just pulling in with your new truck.
Wow, I'm blown away. Thanks for the personalized service.
Are you looking for the right place to help advance your education? GCU has all the right tools and programs to help you find your purpose. For more information on what Grand Canyon University has to offer or to enroll, visit gcu.edu. Well, what a contrast from that first 20 minutes. The Lopes are on fire in this third quarter, and a lot of that, Paul Coro, has nothing to do with outside shots. It has everything to do with scrambling for loose balls.
Absolutely. It's a 17-5 quarter already for the Lopes. and they've totally flipped the rebound problems of the first half. They're out rebounding them 10-4 this quarter, and most of that is because they've already got 5 offensive rebounds. That time it was Pierre on the boards starting the break, and it was beautifully executed. It looked like something they do in practice with rebound, outlet, crossover, layup.
And the Lopes have 8 more shot attempts in this quarter, and we still haven't played half of it. Finally getting the inbound in the second time around is Janae Williams. Graham still in the backcourt. Crosses it with 2 to spare. Here's McGarity, will drive, has it swatted away by Shorts, gets it back, tries to throw it off Shorts, can't do it, and Jackson's able to get to the ball before she's tied up. Possession arrow will send it the Lopes' direction.
Not only did Shorts swat it, but when she recovered it and looked up, it was Shorts and Katie Scott there to greet her.
Well, and McGarity had some space before she started driving, but when she saw Shorts in front of her, she really wasn't quite sure what she wanted to do. Lopes with the basketball. This 6-point lead is their largest of the game, the largest since they led 7-2. Jackson trying to extend for 3.
Now the sets are clicking as the Lopes 3-point shooting continues for a 3rd straight game. LP setting up Nana in her spot on the right side.
Give the ball to 22. Nana with 13 points in this quarter. 4:38 left, and the Lopes have outscored them 21-5. Inbound to Williams. Williams almost gets bumped from behind by Pieta. Gets it for McGarity. Lob inside. Sosal catches it. Fake shoots, scores. Scott went for the steal, came up empty, and that left Buju open.
That was a nice gather by her, too, to get back from under the backboard to put it in.
So a 7-point game, and the Lopes have the lead. Nearing the 4-minute mark of quarter number 3 as Molly Miller directs traffic. The action happening in front of her bench. Jackson hands off for Scott. 1 bounce, high arching 3.
That touched the rafters, didn't it? That beautiful high arcing. Doesn't matter if she's challenged. She can get that off in someone's face.
And the Lopes team manager's having a party on the baseline. It's a 10-point game. And the first double-digit lead of the ball game for GCU as they try and knock it away from Williams. Accomplish the goal. Scott with the steal. Pieta the finish. And it's all Grand Canyon at the moment. Total whitewash. Graham gets it for McGarity. McGarity now for Williams. 2-on-1. Williams will put up the leap and leaner and get it. One of the few times the Lopes were able to give them an open shot where the transition didn't work in this second half. 58-48. Lopes on top. Remember, they trailed by 7 at halftime. Jackson going down, somehow saves it to Pieta out front. A dozen seconds to get a shot off. Low block Scott. Double team. Kick in the opposite corner. They want Jackson to fire it, but she's got a hand in her face. Throws it for Tiana Brown. Backs away, fires a desperation 3 off the glass, and it almost went. Graham with a rebound, but it's knocked away by Shorts, and Shorts took the worst of that exchange on the floor as it goes out of bounds.
Second day Lopes are no joke to deal with. You might survive a day, you might survive another half, but eventually they are going to wear you down when they have this kind of relentless effort, and this quarter's shown that. 25-9 and still 2:53 to play in the quarter.
This is an NBA quarter output. Now the only bad news is that foul on Shorts puts the Lopes over the team foul limit, and that's why Graham's at the line. First free throw not good, and they were 6 for 9 from the stripe in that first half. It's been a different story after halftime. Only 3 of 6 as Graham converts 1 of 2. 9-point edge for GCU as they go for the first sweep of this series since 2018. We talked about that in our Sanderson Ford 3 keys to the game. Here's Jackson. Jackson drive inside, keeps on coming, but that one's swatted away. Bershears with the block, and Jordan Lewis controls, but struggling to get it out of backcourt. Double team, runs into a wall, and then throws it away. Tiana Brown, perfect timing, the steal, the wheel, and the deal.
How many times we see Tiana Brown do that this weekend? I think that's at least 4, where she anticipates the pass and gets a layup out of it.
Back to a double-digit edge. Lopes converging again, this time on Lewis, but this time the foul called on Shorts, and that's 3 on Kennedy. 2:15 left to go, and Lane Lord and the Vaqueros wondering how long this third quarter has to last.
Yeah, I'm not sure the bonus situation is helping them out any. They're going to the line and missing them and shortening their possessions to give GCU the ball back as they just pile up points this quarter.
Lewis makes the first to make it a 10-point game. UTRGV hits the 50 mark, and now 51 as the southpaw makes them both. And Ben Lavares is going to check back into the Lopes lineup. Soysal checks out for the Vaqueros, and Jessica Martino back in.
Deja Jackson still outscoring the Vaqueros on her own this quarter. She's got 14, UTRGV's got 12.
She's got 3 3-pointers in that mix. Here's Tiana Brown breaking the press. Hands off for Jackson. Here's Balagay who's in there. Back to the basket, give it back to Jackson. Balagay sets a screen, nice pick and roll, and then Balagay becomes a pinball. As the ball goes out of bounds, a ton of contact, but no foul called. Lopes will just get it back underneath.
Assumed that would be a foul call, and so did Carla Balagay.
Yeah, Balagay was staring down Esther Thu. But nevertheless, she will check out. Scott's back in. Caldwell looking to inbound. Better hurry. Gets it out front for Jackson. Still a dozen seconds to get a shot off. Caldwell on the baseline. Brings it back out front. Start to drive on Graham. Now loses the basketball. Goes right into the hands of Tiffany McGarity. It's a UTRGV steal. She'll come down, stop. Lopes are back defensively. Brashear's drive on Vadas. Just throws the arm bar in, gets away with it. Give it to Lewis. She'll put up the shot in the lane and get it. And suddenly the ref's letting them play on both ends.
Yeah, definitely cleared the lane for that open shot.
Lopes break the press. Tiana Brown will back it out. Now it's UTRGV's chance to trap, but Scott splitting through the defenders on her way to the hoop. Shot didn't go, but free throw time for the pride of Carl Junction.
That's when that point guard background and Katie Scott comes in handy. Her ability to put the ball on the floor. She's such a versatile player with the shooting touch, the ball handles. Lane Lord knows it very well because he recruited her older sister to Pittsburgh State when he was there.
Sarah Brashear's the guilty party, and Brashear's the second leading scorer on this Vaqueros squad on the season. Now has 4 fouls, and we're not out of the third quarter yet. Scott, with her first chance at the free throw line, misses the first. Next free throw, that's good. And Katie Scott very quietly has 6 points in this quarter. Normally that would be considered a major effort, but the lady who just checked out of the lineup has pretty much overshadowed everybody offensively as Jackson gets a rest. 61-53. The Lopes are pressing. Did you know that? The Williams will bring it down the left side. Tiana Brown putting a hand nearer all the time as Williams keeps the dribble going. Now Martino, drive on Scott, and Scott will reach in with both hands and tie her up.
That's just a good scout read from Katie Scott. I think she knows that Martino wants to dribble left and was anticipating it, had her hands out ready for it.
So 15 on the shot clock for the Vaqueros. Out front is Lewis. Lewis lob in, but getting a paw on it and knocking it out of bounds. Tiana Brown, and Tiana seems to be everywhere. Carla Balagay with a quick breather. She'll check back in for the final minute of the third quarter as Scott will check out. Williams on the baseline, out front for Graham. Shot clock at 6. Balagay with the help defense as Graham keeps driving, puts up the desperation shot, won't go, but a whistle and a foul. Brown went for the block, got part of the arm.
Vaqueros hanging around with their trips to the free throw line this quarter. It's keeping them alive in a quarter where not much else has gone very well for them.
They're 5 of 8 from the stripe here in quarter number 3, and Graham will add to that total. And Graham also leading and adding to her team leading scoring total of 15. Next free throw makes it a 2-possession game. 61-55, and the Vaqueros, after leading by as many as 13 in that first half, not going to go quietly. Brown with the ball in the front court. 45 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Here's Taylor Caldwell. Left side Pieta, now for Balagay. Balagay inching in on Martino, starts right, spin left, put it up, count if it goes no. Martino keeping her hands up, saying I was vertical the whole way, and lead official Clark Stevens disagrees. Personal foul number 3 on Martino. And that's team foul number 4 on the Vaqueros, but it happened in the act of shooting, so Balagay will get her chance to get into the scoring column and join the party with 34.8 seconds left.
That's Balagay's best move. Even though she makes the catch on the extended block, she uses her dribble into the middle to set up the defender and uses that strong left hand for the spin move back.
First free throw is good from the Spaniard. Balagay trying to make this an 8-point game and accomplishes the goal.
Even before those scores, you notice Balagay sprints the floor when she's in there, and it's those little things that make the Vaqueros work a little bit more and sets them up for when Kennedy or Katie Smith comes in.
And
Katie Scott. I say Katie Smith because that's a Springfield basketball reference for everybody out there.
Graham has it poked away. Pieta almost had the steal, but it goes off Lauda's hands, out of bounds. So the Vaqueros will have it back with 11 on the shot clock and 15.6 left to go in the quarter. Out front, Graham takes a glance at the opposite shot clock. Now starts to work on Tiana Brown. Drives across the lane, puts it up with the left hand and gets it. 7 seconds to go for the Lopes to try and get another shot off. Here's Pieta. Pieta will try another SportsCenter highlight. This one won't be quite as close as the one that ended the first quarter, but nevertheless, the Lopes with 33 points at halftime, 30 in the third quarter, and that's why they've turned a 6-point deficit into a 6-point lead. End of 3 here from GCU Arena in this Saturday matinee. Here's your score. The GCU Lopes 63 and the UTRGV Vaqueros 57. We got a big fourth quarter coming back after this on GCU TV.
We made USAA Insurance for members like Kate, a former Army medic made of the flexibility to handle whatever Monday has in store and tackle 4 things at once. So when her car got hit, she didn't worry. She simply filed a claim on her USAA app and said,
"I've got this."
USAA Insurance is made the way Kate needs it. Easy. She can even pick her payment plan, so it's easy on her budget and her life. USAA. What you're made of, we're made for.
When life seems uncertain, there's one credit union that provides both dollars and cents. Copper State Credit Union. With solutions that focus on our members, you can take advantage of competitive rates, free cashback checking, and local attentive service. Uplifting our community is a standard we live by. That's why thousands of your Arizona neighbors rely on us. Strengthening Arizona families through financial empowerment. That's Copper State Credit Union.
From reimagining the way you work to reassessing what you need, you've changed the way you do business. And now, so have we. With no annual contracts and flexible internet and voice solutions, you'll have what you need to get back to business. Rethink, reconnect, reimagine. Switch to Cox Business today.
Fourth quarter underway, and the Lopes with the basketball and a 2-possession lead after trailing nearly all of the first half. Here's Tiara Brown, spin in the lane, put it up and in, score it, count it, foul. Send her to the free throw line, and just like she started the second half with amazing energy in that third quarter, she does it again out of the gates here in the fourth.
So strong down on their post. She's great in one-on-one, but one-on-two, she can take it and finish just the same.
So trying for the three-point play, which she converts. Brown now with 7 points, and the Lopes lead is 9. That foul was on Tiffany McGarity.
You just wonder how much UTRGV's got left right now. They just got dealt a 30-point blow in the third quarter, and now have to rally in the fourth where GCU's dominated teams.
This is a long potential trip back to Edinburgh. Here's Graham. Finds out open Lewis, but the three-pointer's off the mark, and Pieta will let that harmlessly go out of bounds. And considering that one barely drew iron, Paul, I think that was almost on cue. You wonder how much is left in the legs of the Vaqueros.
And I think the Vaqueros gave the Lopes a lot more today, but if they do not pull this one out, they're going to think about all those open threes that didn't fall for them today. They're 2 for 13.
Oh, there's a backcourt steal. McGarity reels it in, goes to the hoop and scores. That's something we hadn't seen since the second quarter. So the Lopes have got to make sure they take care of the basketball as Pieta beats 3 different players down the floor. Jackson for Tiara Brown. Brown wants Pieta to come get the ball. She obliges. Now dribbles around McGarity. Low block pass. Shorts can't get it the first time, but one hands it up and in the second time.
An extra rebound for Kennedy, a lost assist for LP.
And then a turnover on the throwaway as that's off the hands of Graham, out of bounds, and the Lopes get it right back. Again, the Lopes scored 12 points in the first quarter, 21 in the second, and then a whopping 30 points in that third set of 10 minutes.
And that opponent turnover number starting to creep up into normal territory. It looked like it headed for maybe another 20-plus game for GCU's opponents. That's 17 for the Vaqueros.
And the Vaqueros are still shooting 50% from the field, and they've been shooting 50% or better just about the entire game. But right now, it's not mattering. Tiana Brown directing traffic with 16 on the Lopes shot clock. Stop the dribble, give it to Pieta. Pieta drive, keeps going. Off balance shot in the lane won't go. Rebound kept alive. Jackson, then Brown goes out of bounds. Referees look at each other. It'll be GCU basketball, and credit that to both Jackson and Brown for not giving up on the play.
No matter how it happens, that's an offensive rebound for the Lopes, whether they secure it or bang it or pinball it around and get it back. It's been a big difference in the second half. That's, I think, the Lopes' 6th offensive rebound of the second half.
Tiana Brown and Kennedy shorts out. Katie Scott and Taylor Caldwell back in for Molly Miller's squad. Here's Tiara Brown driving on Bershears. Gets double teamed, throw it out for Scott. Thought about the 3, had Soysal running at her, and as she started her drive through the lane, she's bumped by Soysal. As you said in the first half, Paul Coro, that is a matchup that has Katie Scott licking her chops.
Yeah, that's when she breaks out those point guard skills. Because of an injury at one season in high school, she had to shift to the point guard because her coach knew that's the kind of talent she had, to be able to pass and dribble as well as she does, and she's a nightmare matchup there.
Brown with the spin, gets cut off, out for Jackson. Jackson, dish for Caldwell. Caldwell trying to scissor through the defense. Lewis trying to grab at the ball with both hands. Lane Lord up off the Vaqueros bench saying that's a held ball. Clark Stevens says no dice.
Yeah, look a lot like a play we saw Taylor Caldwell make on the other side in the first half. Tough break there for Lewis. She looked like she reached in and tied it.
Here's Scott to Caldwell for 3. No. Brown somehow gets a hand on it, but Graham able to control it on the side. 2 minutes gone by, and the Lopes maintaining a 9-point edge. Graham stop at the elbow, handoff for Shears, bumps into Pieta, blocking foul. Lada Pieta, it's her second, and it's the team's first here in the fourth quarter.
Took a shot there, sliding her feet, trying to get in front of her.
Whirlpools are going to be busy, I think, after this game on both sides. The drive by Lewis looked like she took about 12 steps, and they finally call it. And once again, it was Nana Jackson beating her to the spot.
Yeah, she looked like she was playing hopscotch there. But you're right, Nadeja Jackson just stayed with her, so I think she thought she'd have clearance when she got into the paint, and Jackson was still right there.
Here's Katie Scott and Lada Pieta breaking the press with 4 minutes to spare. Scott goes inside, gives it to Brown. Brown tried to throw it out front, knocked away. Caldwell saves. Cross court for Jackson, catch and fire, 3-pointer, in and out and stayed out. Tough break. Soysal with the rebound. Still a lot of basketball to play, so the Lopes have to stay strong defensively. Graham will stop, change direction, put up the shot, won't go. Wanted the foul, didn't get it. Scott with the rebound. Still a 9-point Lopes edge. Lead pass for Jackson. Baseline pass to Brown, cutting to the hoop for 2.
Wow, that's all set up by Jackson's first step to beat her to the baseline. She sucks down 2 Vaqueros, leaving the middle open for Brown.
Lopes have led by as many as a dozen. The lead is 11 at the moment as we're under 7 minutes. Lewis, the drive, shot off the glass, no. Rebound out front, and her body's all over the floor on the baseline. Pieta heading the other way, and we've got a whistle and a foul, and that'll be personal foul number 4 on the Lopes Taylor Caldwell. Soysal and Bershears both very slow to get up after that exchange. Kennedy Shorts will replace Katie Scott in the Lopes lineup. And McGarity will give Lewis a breather on the UTRGV side. Non-shooting foul, so it's Williams underneath. Gets it for Bershears. Bershears drive, throws it out to the corner, and nobody there but Pieta. Pieta, lead pass for Caldwell. This Euro step to perfection for two.
It's about the only thing that's been missing from Taylor Caldwell's game today, the scoring. She's contributed in rebounding and assists and on defense.
And there's a steal out front. Shorts now hounded and then throws it away. I think Shorts thought she got fouled, and now McGarity runs into Taylor Caldwell, and I think Caldwell's afternoon is over. If that's on her, that's 5. Yep. So TC fouls out at the 6:17 mark.
Well, that's a frustrating day for Taylor Caldwell with the fouls, but I think the coaching staff is never going to lament the aggression that she played with. You know, she just picked up those last two on crashing the boards and pressuring defense, and I don't think they want her to stop doing either of those things.
Well, and as you mentioned, only 4 points, but 5 rebounds and 3 assists to go along with it. Here's McGarity on the non-shooting foul, but misses the 3. Nothing but black jerseys underneath for the defensive rebound. Pieta was looking at Jackson, who was streaking down the right side. Too much traffic to get it to her. Shorts, hands off for Jackson. Behind the back dribble, backs away, fires a 3, air ball. One-handed rebound by Brown as she was being held, but stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
She had one hand on the rebound because the other was being held.
That was pass interference if there ever was one. Nevertheless, Vaqueros with the ball, but the Lopes have their largest lead of the day. Going for their second straight WAC sweep and their second straight of the week. That time it's Williams getting the first step and going to the hole for 2.
Vaqueros needed that one. They've had nothing going offensively this half except for one breakaway.
And time slowly starting to become a factor on the Lope side. Here's Pieta. Drifts around the defender, throws it for Jackson. Jackson now starting to slow it up. Lopes still have 10 seconds to get a shot up. Here's Tiana Brown on the right side as Jackson cuts in. Now Pieta with 4, now 3, and has her pocket picked by Williams. Williams now has it knocked away by Pieta, and Pieta staring at official Steve Belknap as she's called for her 3rd personal foul. That's the 13th foul. Molly Miller not happy.
No, she forgoed the heel stomp for almost a ball stomp there when the ball came over to her. I thought she was going to slam it down while she was debating that call with the official.
So the Lopes with 3 team fouls, UTRGV with 4, and that one will send it the other way, and Pieta demonstrative on her rear end after she draws the charge.
And that's why you argue a call, because the next one might go your way, and now Lane Lord out at midcourt on the same official.
I was going to say, if there was more contact, it would have been on the second call than it was on the first. So Pieta will bring it across the midcourt line at the midpoint of this 4th quarter. Low block, Scott, scoop shot, no, gets her own rebound, follows, no, gets her own rebound, and then a whistle out front. Relentless on the offensive boards is the reigning Missouri Gatorade Player of the Year. And that foul will be called on Martino. That is 4 on the backup center. And we've got a timeout on the floor. 4:53 left to go in this one. And the Lopes trying to cruise towards another WAC sweep. It's the Lopes 72, UTRGV 61, right here on GCU TV.
From reimagining the way you work to reassessing what you need, you've changed the way you do business. And now, so have we. With no annual contracts and flexible internet and voice solutions, you'll have what you need to get back to business. Rethink, reconnect, reimagine. Switch to Cox Business today.
Lopes fans already downloaded the Lope Nation app? No? Well, it's time. You can watch GCU home sporting events directly from the app, receive personalized news and score updates from your favorite Lopes teams, and you can follow the Lopes closer than ever. Scores, schedules, stories, and more. And even more perks will be coming soon. Search GCU Athletics in your phone's app store or download the GCU Athletics app now at gculopes.com/app. And you can look for Paul Coro's recap not too long after this one's over. We've still got 4:53 left to go fourth quarter, and the Lopes trying to add to an 11-point edge.
Katie Scott going to work again in a fourth quarter. We see this a lot this season where teams are worn down. She uses all her teammates to help tire another one out. And she got in the block that time, and we saw Martino just back off. She didn't want to get that foul, but the rebound caused it.
Lopes now with a 12-point lead. Scott will try to extend it, but can't do it with the second free throw. And it's 73-61. So the Vaqueros, who led by as many as 13 in that first half, with a lot of work to do to avoid the sweep. And that doesn't help as Pieta with another steal out front. Good weak side help by LP. Here's Jackson outside the left arc, and the Lopes can afford to use a little clock here. Tiara Brown comes out to get it. Brown rifles a pass in the corner for her sister Tiana. Back out front, Tiara to Nana Jackson. Brown goes inside, comes back out for the ball. 6 on the shot clock. Drives on McGarity, put up the shot too hard. Goes to the side, out of bounds. Referees looking at each other. It's Lopes basketball.
Pretty drive by Brown, though. We've seen her go around the back twice with it.
And Lane Lord, I think, was saying that shot did not draw iron. So Clark Stevens is going to come over to the scorer's table, I think, to review. So we'll see if that will give the Vaqueros the basketball, as that shot clock was winding down when Brown made the drive. Molly Miller, meantime, directing traffic.
I think it did. It hit glass first, but caught the rim on the way back down.
It looked like it caught the backside of that rim, yeah.
Gives the Vaqueros a chance to catch their breath a little bit. Could be a strategic challenge more than anything. Doesn't have to use a timeout to let them all find their breath against this relentless GCU pressure.
I think at this point, Lane Lord is anticipating a very long plane ride back to Texas. He's going to want to try and pull out all the stops here. Don't forget, Lopes now, after this game, after playing 5 home games in the span of 8 days, are going to have 2 weeks off before the vaunted matchup in Riverside, California in 2 weeks with undefeated Cal Baptist. That should be a war. 3 p.m. both Friday and Saturday on the WAC Digital Network. Back to live action. Inside is Brown. Double team. Can't get a shot off. Give it out front for Scott. Scott drives around Soysal. Put it up. It'll count if it goes at one. Soysal winds up on her back and also winds up with her third personal foul to send Scott back to the line.
Again, Katie Scott knows she can put it on the floor and get there quicker than Soysal can move her feet with her.
And that's an answer Lane Lord has just not had. He had Jessica Martino defensively against Scott in the first game, didn't work. And every time that Soysal has had the matchup with Scott, who has spent a lot more time out on the perimeter today than yesterday, that has been a mismatch. Scott's first free throw, good. 4 minutes and 1 slim second left on the clock as Scott gives the Lopes their largest lead of the day at 75-61. Sarah Bershears back in, playing with 4 personal fouls. And Bershears, who came in to this series averaging 13 points a game, has taken a hit and then some on that average. She had just 6 points yesterday and 5 so far today. Williams slips down and will wait to be tied up. I'm surprised she didn't call a timeout. The Vaqueros still had 1 left. The Vaqueros have the possession arrow, but now that's 1 advantage they'll lose down the stretch. Williams back up, and Bershears will inbound. Bershears gets to the middle of the court before she dishes off for Williams. Williams trying to dribble drive on Pieta. LP stays with her as she dribbles inside. Gets a nice pass for Soysal. Misses the first attempt, but follows and scores. The benefits of being 6'5".
That's when she's at her best there. She filled in the pocket for a good open shot, kept it up high on the rebound and finished.
12-point game. Vaqueros have to have a stop over the next couple of Lopes offensive possessions to have a chance, as they have not been able to rely on the outside jumper. Only 2 of 14 from three-point range. Brown puts it up from 3. That hits the rim not once but twice, but won't go down. Graham almost had it stolen by Pieta, has a big smile on her face as she comes back defensively. Lob inside, there's Soysal. She'll fake shoot, and finally the whistle comes down. They were waiting to see whether or not that shot was going to fall as Shorts came down on the back of her. Kennedy picks up her 4th, and Soysal will have free throws.
Sure felt like that. That looked like a missed opportunity, if anything. Soysal got good position underneath, beat GCU's defense down low. And Shorts was more with a challenge than anything.
Well, and you could tell Shorts was in her head.
She left her feet, and that gives an impression to the official when you leave your feet. But I'm not sure there was contact there on the landing.
Soysal makes the first. She's a perfect 4 for 4 from the stripe, and that just changed. So the lead is 11 at the 3-minute mark. The Lopes want to take care of the basketball and get a good shot and use as much of this 30 seconds as they can. Lopes trying to go 5-1 in WAC play and stay in second place behind Cal Baptist, who, as I mentioned, is their next WAC opponent in 2 weeks on the road. Next home matchup, 3 weeks. They'll take on Seattle here Friday and Saturday, the 26th and 27th. Pieta's 3 won't go. Shorts keeps the rebound alive, but Williams gets it for the Vaqueros. 2.5 minutes left to go. Vaqueros running out of time. Graham yo-yoing the ball out front. They're trying to look in for Soysal again, as Shorts now has 4 personal fouls. Across the lane, Lewis gets it to Bashirs, starts right and then spins left, has it blocked by Brown, throws up a desperation follow, doesn't go, but the whistle will send her to the line. And Tiara Brown has picked up her 4th.
What a stuff, though, on the initial play by Tiara Brown. Just met her at the apex of her jump shot.
Those are the kind that sometimes can be called held ball.
Absolutely.
2:11 left, and no doubt that Bashirs has to have both of these, and that won't help. First free throws of the day for Bashirs. This team does not shoot the ball well, really, from any of the 3 categories. As a matter of fact, the 4 and 6 overall record is kind of indicative because they're not in the top half of the Western Athletic Conference in any of the statistical categories. 1 of 2 free throws made by Bashirs, but again, the Vaqueros not converting at the free throw line, and that's why they're still down by double digits. Lopes break the press, and we're under 2 minutes.
Clock is on the Lopes side to work these shot clocks down.
And you can tell the ball movement is crisp. They're not in any hurry. Shot clock at 9 for Donna Jackson. Jackson for Pieta, down to 6, now 5. Give it to Scott. She'll square and fire for 3! And that will likely be the dagger.
Lopes have been a hot 3-point shooting team early in the game, but had missed 6 in a row, and that brings it back in a big way.
8 for 22 from behind the arc. Graham off the glass and in. It'll count, and she's fouled. 20 points for Amara Graham, and she'll try for the 3-point play.
Well, Graham's been really impressive today. You could tell skill-wise what a good player she was yesterday, but had a rough day of shooting and frustration with the press, but she's handled it so much better today and was a huge reason why they got out to that lead.
Foul is on Scott. That is her 3rd. And with 89 seconds left, Graham now with 21 as she converts. Let's see when Lane Lord starts telling them they've got a foul. Haley Jones likely in there off the bench for that purpose. But instead, it's Jones with the steal on the pass by Jackson. Trying to get it outside for Pieta. Now they need a quick shot. Here's McGarity, drive around Scott, put it up with the left hand and get it. Down to an 8-point game. Not over, folks. 65 seconds left to go, and the Lopes have got to take care of the basketball as Graham will foul Pieta. in the backcourt. So now both teams in the bonus.
Yeah, Lane Lord no longer can play the turnover game. They got to take fouls with only a minute to go.
Bershears will check back in. And why was she out of there? Because she's been playing with 4 personal fouls throughout most of this fourth quarter. Kennedy Shorts will check back in. Katie Scott heads to the Lopes bench with exactly 1 minute left to go. And Pieta trying to make this a 4-possession game again. First free throw, good.
You mentioned earlier about CBU being undefeated. That's the standard the Lopes have to play to right now. CBU's been able to get in a full slate of games, 8-0 in conference. So it doesn't leave you a lot of room for error when you're the second-place team trying to catch up with less games and 1 loss already. That's the standard GCU has to look at.
Both free throws good, 10-point game again. Williams dribbling around looking for room, give it to Bershears, fire a high-arching 3 in the corner and get it. Down to a 7-point game. Vaquero still hanging on. 44 seconds to go. Pieta driving away from trouble. Give it to Brown. Brown now for Shorts. They want to play keep away. And Brown will be fouled by Graham in the front court with 36 and a half left. And so now the free throw parade starts. Tierra 3 for 3 from the line. 2 of those coming way back in the first quarter. Tierra's first one is good, and suddenly GCU Arena became pin drop hour.
Well, RGV's late close here is going to make the final score a little bit more representative of the way they started this game. It's been a remarkable turnaround for the Lopes from that point where they were down 22-9 in the first quarter until Piera hit a half-court shot.
And look, lost in the shuffle. The Lopes in this fourth quarter from the stripe, 8 of 8. McGarity, as they run out of time, gives it to Haley Jones, drives on Tiana Brown, loses the ball, goes down, no harm, no foul. Lopes basketball, and that will finally put a capper on things. 18.2 seconds left, and Molly Miller is going to call a timeout.
I think Lane Lord was just calling off the dogs there, too.
I
saw him motioning his arms out wide like no fouls.
So I'm not sure if Molly was also trying to maybe clean her bench, but again, only 18 seconds left to go. And so now we look towards Cal Baptist, and that's pretty much been circled on the calendar for the last month, Paul, but then also kind of lost in that shuffle is, yeah, you got Cal Baptist on the road, but right after that, you've got the team that you just overtook for second place in the conference, Seattle at home, and that's your final 2 road games. So this is not an easy last 3 weeks of the season for Molly Miller's team.
Pretty cool thing just happened during the timeout that Lane Lord didn't expect to have. He just brought his team in on onto the court, and they just had a big group hug, basically. You can tell that was not a strategic timeout. I think he talked to them about how they represented themselves today. They came back strong from yesterday and gave a push, and some lessons learned here in the second half.
So the Vaqueros will head home. They're going to face Cal Baptist next week. And still looking for their first WAC win. And a whistle. And Molly Miller's called another timeout because Katie Scott was having trouble getting rid of it. And I think the home fans right now starting to kind of scratch their heads going, Coach, you looking at the clock? 7.5 seconds left. A reminder, why was Paul Coro here? Well, some COVID protocols happening on the men's side.
Well, that's upset viewers asking that.
So the UTRGV series in Edinburgh did not happen for the Lopes, but that means they're back at home in 2 weeks, and they'll take on Cal Baptist of their own here at GCU Arena 2 weeks from now, and that's not going to be an easy task either. Pieta fouled by Graham, and Lane Lord with his hands in his pockets, shaking his head going, you didn't need to do that.
Yeah, this last 17 seconds has lasted a lot longer than it needs to, huh?
You're supposed to go down for the post-game interview. You may never get there. Pieta's back to the line. The first free throw is not good, and that's only the second miss by the Lopes in this fourth quarter, 8 of 10. 5 seconds left. Next free throw drops through. Another 16-point night for Pieta. And Lane Lord is going to call a timeout.
Some coaching going on here.
Yeah, I'm not sure. This is...
Gets to drop his 5-second play for future reference in games where they might be tight and have to pull something like this off. It gives them an opportunity to do it with a real look. But GCU with those free throws gets to the 50-point mark for the second half.
That's amazing. Considering what the struggles were in that first 15 minutes of play for the Lopes.
They easily could have finished the first quarter with 9 points, if not for a half-court shot at the buzzer. To turn that around and be as efficient as they've been in the second half, get their turnover numbers back up to where they usually are, 23 for UTRGV after making 26 yesterday.
And Lopes fans, both on the men's and women's basketball side, starting to become regular visitors of ESPN Sports Center again, because we've been seeing an awful lot of plays hitting the top 10, including last night with that behind-the-back pass midway through the game yesterday, courtesy of Tavia Rowell. And, of course, we've seen Sean Miller-Moore. We've seen Gabe McLaughlin on the men's side. So let's see if LP is able to make it tonight.
Tiana Brown said she expected that yesterday.
Did she really?
Says she does it in practice.
Sarah Bershears misses the final three-pointer, and that will do it. A huge second half as the Lopes turn the tide. Normally, Lane Lord would be pleased by the fact that his team scored 34 points after halftime, but not today as they get outscored by 16 on a 50-point second half effort by the Lopes, and they win it by 10 to complete the WAC sweep. The Lopes are now 5-1 in WAC play, firmly nestled in second place by themselves. They moved to 13-3 overall. They've now won 4 straight. And Paul Coro, this is one of those where it's gut check time, and just about every single time this year that Molly Miller has said, hey, let's turn this around, her team has obliged.
Pretty amazing combination of coaching adjustments, talk-tos, and wearing opponents down with their system. It's the method behind the madness that they will be able to close games better than the other teams with their full court pressure and the way it wears opponents down. But I don't know where they would have been today without what Nana Jackson did in the third quarter. She had 14 on her own, outscored UTRGV all by herself, and it just seems like it's a different player every game stepping up for them, and that's exactly what Molly Miller and her staff want from this team. It's a collective effort with no stars.
And one of the things we talked about in the 3 keys to the game, brought to you by Sanderson Ford at the beginning of the game, was a question of balance. They had 4 players in double figures a night ago, and now they have 4 more players in double figures today. 16 from Lauda Pieta, another 20 for Katie Scott, and 11 points for Tiara Brown. But yes, if we're going to go to our Copper State Credit Union player of the game, there is only one. It is indeed the grad student from Oakland, Nana Jackson.
Yeah, not only did she score that half, but she was active in other ways. She set up a couple really nice assists. She came up with 2 steals on the defensive end in that quarter. She played a whole game in 1 quarter, really.
She did. 14 out of her 15 points on the game coming in that third stanza. And so the lady they call Nana, 15 points. She made 3 threes, all in that third quarter, 3 of 7 overall, and 5 of 10 from the field. She is our player of the game, brought to you by Copper State Credit Union, founded on the principle of people helping people. So now the Lopes, after going fast and furious over the past 8 days with 5 home games, many of them hastily assembled and at different times than they expected, have 2 weeks off, and now they get ready for Cal Baptist, and it's the first time the Lopes have been on the road for a while. Yes, you count the New Mexico State games that were played here as road games by design, but the Lopes haven't had to go on the road for a while. This is going to be an interesting test.
And we'll see what's done with the schedule, too. There's been a lot of flexibility in the WAC schedule, so when teams have open weekends, you might see some shuffling to set up future dates. They're still trying to get that Chicago State series back that they lost earlier in the year, so you could see some games maybe moved up to create an open weekend later.
So that is the current schedule, and we want to remind you that there's only 2 home games on the original schedule that are left for the Lopes, and they're going to happen in 3 weeks. Let's take a look at the final stats for Copper State Credit Union's statistics. And UTRGV, as they did all game long, still winds up shooting 50% from the field, but even though they got 2 more shot attempts than the Lopes in the first half, much different story in the second half. Lopes were 28 of 63 from the field, UTRGV 27 of 55, but what killed UTRGV was the three-point shooting, only 3 of 16 from behind the arc, and the Lopes, when they got rolling in that second half, 9 of 23 from the field from the three-point arc, and all of them very timely when they were making their comeback.
Yeah, I think this film still leaves the coaching staff a lot to look at for the Lopes over this coming week. You know, the open looks that UTRGV missed from three-point range, the amount of turnovers, really unusual for GCU to have 19.
Yeah, 19 turnovers, only 8 after halftime, and they were able to minimize the damage where UTRGV was really taking advantage of those 11 miscues in the first 20 minutes, but the Lopes still kind of keeping that standard. 23 turnovers forced on the Vaqueros, and the Lopes, after being out-rebounded nearly the entire game, wind up out-rebounding UTRGV 36-33, and a lot of that was minimizing the offensive glass that UTRGV was utilizing in that first half.
Yeah, Lewis really hurt him with the 6 offensive rebounds in the first half, but so we saw 2 key areas that they talked about between games to improve. They improved in the second half. They might not improve for the whole game, but they shored up the rebounding and they shored up their transition defense.
So want to remind you again, 3 weeks from this weekend is the final regular season conference matchups at home for Molly Miller's team. They'll take on Seattle University, who is nipping at the heels of the Lopes in 3rd place in the WAC standings at the moment. That'll be Friday and Saturday, February 26th, 6 p.m. tip-offs here at GCU Arena. We will have the broadcast for you right here starting at 5:55 on Friday night. And then the A-team, that namely being Scott Williams, Barry Butel, and Kate Longworth. They'll take you through the ride starting at 5:30 on Saturday, February 27th on Fox 10 Extra. Also want to remind you the men's basketball team back in action in 2 weeks right here on GCU TV and also on Fox 10 Extra Friday and Saturday, February 19th and 20th, as they will host Cal Baptist, 7 p.m. tip-offs here at GCU Arena. Want to thank our great crew, our sports information director for women's basketball here at Grand Canyon University, Sierra Smith. Want to thank our director, Travis Fleming, our producer, Marley Thompson, as well as the graphics from Jenna Applegate and the great camera work from Hannah Longshin. And as always, want to thank, whenever I get a chance to, our Lopes insider, Paul Coral, for pinch hitting in a quick roll and a quick turnaround. Paul, as always, a great pleasure to have you on the mic.
Always happy to lay down a bunt single.
So, we also want to remind you that you can follow Grand Canyon University on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and don't forget to download that Lope Nation app so you can watch all the live streams from your mobile device, or you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GCU. So until we talk to you in 3 weeks, this is Jim Howe speaking to you from GCU Arena in this Sunday morning matinee and reminding you the final score in a big comeback. The Grand Canyon University Lopes 83 and the UTRGV Vaqueros 73. Have a great afternoon, everybody, and go Lopes.